Hi, this is Keith with Positively Osceola, and we are here today in a kind of a casual setting and an information kind of discussion with some leaders that are from Osceola County and from the city of St. Cloud. And I'll just introduce everybody. Hello, I'm glad you guys are here.
Good morning.
We have obviously the mayor with us, Mayor Nathan Blackwell,
Good to be here.
city manager Joe Helfenberger,
Delighted to be here.
and we have with us one of the county commissioners, actually the chairman, Brandon Arrington. So
Thank you for having us.
glad you guys are here today. And this is an informational kind of meeting, just kind of a discussion to the topics, I guess, that we'll be discussing today. One will certainly be the annexation and the enclave annexation topic. It's kind of a recent topic. And so I guess we'll just go right at it and maybe ask Mayor Nathan Blackwell to lead us off on this topic.
Well, I'm certainly not an expert on annexation, but I certainly have studied the issue quite thoroughly over the last few months. In 2014, the city of St. Cloud and the county entered into an agreement, a joint planning agreement that addressed this issue of annexation, in particular as it related to enclaves. And the person here that could probably speak most eloquently and astutely to this issue is our County Commissioner, Brandon Arrington, and maybe you could speak a little bit about the purpose of that,
Sure.
of that agreement.
I'd be glad to, Mayor. We're very excited in Osceola County to be working with the city of St. Cloud to closing some of these enclaves that currently exist within the city. And the reason it's so important is the mayor and I both know it's about tightening up the level of service that we provide to our constituent base. One of the things that we have with our enclave issue currently that exists in the city of St. Cloud is providing that service. And when I say providing that service, that means either your trash service, it could be your fire and EMS service, it could be your basic services that are provided on a daily basis. And one of the trouble spots that we have is coming into the community that's surrounded by the city of St. Cloud and the services that are provided, and being able to provide that same effective level of service that their neighbors are already getting. And so by closing up some of those enclaves and some of those gaps, we're able to provide a better government and tighter service. And also we can specifically, hopefully, cut down on some of the EMS response times. That's why it's a major issue to me personally, because we currently have 3 different 911 services here in Osceola County. And sometimes there's confusion between the calls and who's supposed to respond. And by closing up some of these enclaves, hopefully we'll tighten that gap in that specific area so we as a community can provide a better service to you, the taxpayer.
And you know, for me personally, the biggest issue with annexation is providing for the safety of all of our residents. And what most people who don't realize that are living in the enclaves, that you're already benefiting tremendously from many of the services that the city already provides. For example, when 911 calls, we're listening, and those of you that are closest, you'll find that that response time can be cut in half, and many times they're already coming to you. Many of these enclave areas are already being patrolled by St. Cloud police, and the reason there's a low crime issue with many of you where you live is because St. Cloud is already there, and their response time is the closest of anyone to help meet the needs that you might have in that area. And I think another thing people don't realize that's a huge benefit that the city of St. Cloud helped provide is that every time you get on the turnpike, especially there at the Kissimmee Park interchange to go to Orlando, or you get off to come home, you're able to do that because the city of St. Cloud invested about $3.5 million of city taxpayers' money to make that possible. And so you're already benefiting from our parks and many of our services that many of the people in the enclaves are already using.
And Mayor, one thing I'd like to follow up on is obviously Osceola County is growing, and our population is expected to double within the next 20 years. And we've been working with the city of St. Cloud on that expansion of the city limits as well. And closing up these enclaves is important because the city of St. Cloud continues to grow and Osceola County continues to grow. We want to make sure we have a seamless transition between one area to the next. And so by closing up some of these enclaves, we can tighten up that service level of the city of St. Cloud, but we also prepare to grow. And that's what we've been working on, the joint planning agreement between the city and also the county. It's been a great collaboration and partnership, and I must say I'm proud of how our 2 staffs have worked together to bring some of these efforts forward.
We salute you and how you do work as partners. I'm wondering if we should maybe define what an enclave is, maybe even annexation. I know we all probably here know what that is, and you certainly do, dealing with this so often, but I'm assuming that maybe some people don't know what an enclave is, so who would like to discuss what that is?
Okay.
City manager,
Well,
you're probably more well
sure,
versed.
in a simple explanation, it's land that is totally surrounded by another jurisdiction. Like we have a huge area in the center part of St. Cloud that is in the county, but it's completely surrounded by the city of St. Cloud. Now, it creates a lot of inefficiencies with governments. You have your fire trucks, you have to go through there from the city to get to another city location. And all your police emergency vehicles, public works, all city services, a lot of them go right through these enclaves in order to provide services on the other side. And in the case of emergencies, the city is most able to get there quicker, but sometimes that is delayed because of for example, when you have an emergency, let's say somebody in the family has a stroke. What happens is you're gonna call dispatch, they're gonna figure out you're in the county, they're gonna call them first, and then they're gonna figure out that the city can provide the response faster, so then they get a hold of the city. That wastes valuable time that in the instance of a stroke victim could make the difference in a higher quality of life or not. So it's critical, especially in protective services, that we have clear delineation of where boundaries are. And with these enclaves, there's a lot of confusion. Am I in the city? Am I in the county? We need to clear all that up. The other thing is that it's a bit unfair to the existing residents because they're getting a lot of these services, that is the people in the county, and the city residents are footing the bill for a lot of this too. The other thing is we're looking at working in a very cooperative manner with everybody. We're looking at being able to continue the same uses in as many cases as possible for people that if they're in the county in a certain use, that they continue with that same use in the city. So it should not affect their quality of life. And in fact, the city planning department right now is looking at expanding the uses for all city residents for certain things like 4-H projects and other things that they're accustomed to do in the county that we would like them to be able to do in the city.
Well, you know, for me, an enclave is just simply a piece of property that's surrounded by the city. And how can we serve those areas better? And to me, that's the big issue, safety. But, you know, what's also important to me is that when it comes to these annexing this property is that we don't want to change our lifestyle, we simply want to make it better. And that's why the city is going out of its way to let you maintain whatever zoning you have and even change it to make it better if that's what you would prefer.
How does it affect stepping back away from the safety issue? How does it affect, sometimes it's just the small stuff, the trash pickup or water? How do all those things play into an annexation?
Well, actually, if you're already on water and sewer, you're paying 25% more for those services in the county than in the city. So if you would be coming into the city, you'd actually save on your utility bills.
But the city's not going to force anybody to have to go on water, city water or sewer if you're not using. If you have a well, you continue to use your well. If you have a septic tank system, you can continue to use that. However, if city sewer and water is there, the county health is going to force you to hook up to the water if your well fails. If your septic system fails, then you're going to still have to hook up. But if you're in the city, you'll be able to do so and save a considerable amount of money doing that.
And also one thing I want to add from an effective level of service from a county standpoint is our garbage services when you deal with enclaves. When you're bidding out those routes, you've got to take in that extra cost of working your way through the city of St. Cloud ineffectively to service these few residents that are out there. And so if we're able to tighten up that belt per se and make all of that within the city limits, then it provides a more effective service for the city of Kissimmee when they go out for contractual bids, and the same thing from the Osceola County as well.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Also, we get complaints on road service and maintenance. If it's in the county, we're not able to respond on that, and it's very costly for the county to go to these enclaves and try to maintain them also. So from a taxpayer standpoint, the money is better invested by having these enclaves within the city.
And also to expand on Joe's point, citizens, when they reach out to you, there is confusion sometimes of whether or not you are in the city or whether you are in the county. And it's never a great experience when you call one of your elected representatives hoping to get an answer, and I've got to tell you to reach out to the city of St. Cloud. So this tightens up some of that confusion that can happen within the population as well.
Gotcha.
And you know, this annexation issue of enclaves is not just something that the city has decided that on our own that we want to do because we want to get larger. We just want to be better. And we are working with the county, and part of what we're doing is what the state wants us to do and what the county does. If we're going to cooperate and be more efficient both in the county and the city, we have to work together, and this is us working together.
So and that was one of my questions. We've had a few people ask us why now, what was the timing, why was it in this particular time of the year that it took place or it's taking place, and to me, I hear you saying this is just part of a goal to be more efficient, to be more effective, and so that seems to be the timing that I'm hearing. Is there any other reason why it's right now? Is it linked to anything else? That's just questions we've been getting. People.
I think the biggest issue, obviously, this is something we've been looking at in the county for years. It's not solely with the city of St. Cloud. This is also a conversation that's had with the city of Kissimmee as well. I think why we're at this point now is we have leadership that wants to provide the most proactive and effective government to our citizens. And that's why we're having the conversation. And it's not just a conversation of annexation that we're having with the city of St. Cloud. We're continuing to talk about 911 service. We're also working with them to expand our trail system, running all the way from the city of Kissimmee on 192, from the Orange County line down to the city of St. Cloud lakefront, and perhaps even taking it up some of Narcoossee. We've partnered recently on St. Cloud acquiring Chisholm Park and taking over that partnership as well. So this isn't just a one-off. We're continuing to work together to find ways that we can improve the quality of life here in Osceola County and create an effective services. Unfortunately, like business, government doesn't have all the money we need to provide everything folks want. So if we can be more effective in some of the smaller things that we do on a day-to-day basis, that can provide us with funds at the end of the year to make other quality of life improvements in our community.
Excellent.
We want to continue to reach out to all the people that would be affected by the annexation of enclaves, and we're looking to hold a additional workshop and then follow up with a city council meeting on this issue. It's probably, we're probably a couple months out from that, but we'll get a letter out to everybody that's affected by the enclaves on the workshop, and we're looking at addressing, expanding some of the uses we have in the city, for example, and try to be able to continue to preserve the way of life you have and actually enhance it from what you have from a public safety standpoint, especially because protection of life is just paramount.
You know, I'd just simply like to say as the mayor that we care about all of the residents, both inside the city and outside the city, as well as the county itself. We just want to serve you better. We want to do a better job. We want to do what's best for you. Even though you may not like that in the short term, we believe there'll be tremendous benefits in the long term.
Well said. Well, appreciate you all coming today, and so I think that that should wrap it up for this episode of annexation and enclaves in Osceola County and St. Cloud.
And we just want to thank positively Osceola for coming alongside and helping us with this. What an incredible organization, and you guys just do an incredible job. We like what you do.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Well, excellent. We've enjoyed being here today. And again, thank you to Mayor Nathan Blackwell, to City Manager Joe Helfenberger, and County Commissioner Chairman Brandon Arrington. I'm Keith with Positively Osceola. Thank you.